Ian. Disappointing ending of the fight, but great performance, I would imagine. How are you feeling about your own performance and how the outcome?
I wanted to come out here and talk to you guys because in victory and defeat, I'm still the same person. I still want to come out here and give you guys what you deserve, the knowledge. I am humble in victory and defeat. I always have been. And I do not feel like I lost today. My hand might not have got raised, but I came out and I fought a giant. I came out and I fought the boogeyman, and I showed that he's fucking human. I went out there on 3 weeks' notice. I saved this event. I saved this card against the scariest man in the division. And I went out there and I stopped almost everything. There was at no point where he looked like he was going to finish the fight. I put him in 2 submissions. I took his back. I had fun. I showed that I can hang with the single best in the division. And I proved tonight, on short notice, that I can absolutely be a champion. And I can do it for 5 rounds, and there's no holes in my game. There was nothing that man brought for me tonight. He won by opinion, and that's okay. That is okay. I can live with that, and I'm very happy with my performance tonight.
You should be. It was great. How do you feel the choke was, and how close were you to getting that? Talk to me through that.
Charlie's. Eu gosto de falar com você. Charles taught me that backstage. He taught me a trick backstage. Eu aprendendo, eu just scoop, mano. Just scoop out no finalizar ele. I wanted to finish that so bad. Charles taught me a little trick backstage. Why I'm blessed to travel the world and have friends like Charles and Damien to learn from and to evolve with. I went out there against the scariest man, and I nearly fucking finished him. That shows that I have a championship mentality. 25 minutes. I stood in there across from him, and he didn't have anything more than I had. I stopped every single one of his takedowns. That was clean. I made him fight tooth and nail for everything. That shows the level of talent I have, and I deserve to be one of the best in the world, and I deserve more respect from this now.
Do you believe one day we see this fight again?
I said it before the fight. I said it to you guys before. I believe that he is better than everybody else, and I believe that I am better than everybody else, and we are going to see each other multiple times in our career. I don't know. I do not believe that we are going to see each other one more time. I think it might be twice. I think he's that good, and I know I'm that good.
Ian back here. Ian, congratulations on giving a great effort. I'm wondering, they sometimes say you learn more from the losses. You've had several fights already. Sitting up there, do you already have things you're already looking to work on in the gym coming off of this one?
Absolutely. I mean, I said it to Charles while I was getting my eye stitched. By the way, I punched myself a week ago and opened myself up. So it opened back up in the fight, and that's okay. I'm an idiot when I did that. But I said to Charles afterwards, I have the privilege and the blessing of traveling this world and having amazing connections like Charles and Damien and so many more amazing coaches around the world that I can learn from and evolve from. I did not go out there today to lose. I went out there today to win and to beat him. And I brought everything I had, and I had fun doing it. So for me, it's just continue to evolve. I've shown every single time I've stepped into the octagon that I am one of the best in this division, and I just did it today against the scariest man in many people's eyes. So many people turned down this fight. So many people were running from him. I backed it up. I said I could do it. I went in there today with every intention of beating that man, and I still feel like I'm winning right now. I do not feel like that man beat me. For everything that he is and what everyone builds him up to be, I do not feel like I lost. My hand may have not got raised today, and that's okay. I'll be back, and I will get my hand raised against him one day. That rematch will be very, very fun.
My apologies if this has already been asked, but everything that happened at the weigh-ins, I don't think people expected something from him like that, get in your face and the whole crouch and push you. I mean, what was your reaction out there?
Look, I have nothing but respect for the man. I said it. You heard the video. I said, we're not going to hit each other. He tried to come out and out-alpha me. The second my foot went backwards, I brought the energy back to him. I'm afraid of no man on this earth. You respect me, you disrespect me, I bring it fucking straight back. I'm Irish. My blood means we take no shit. We show up, we have fun, and we put on a show. And if you want to bring your energy that way to me, you better be ready to fight.
You guys have obviously trained before. I know there's a bit of a language barrier, but how would you describe your relationship with Shavkat before and now today?
Mine and Shavkat's relationship was always respect. We're not necessarily friends. I've not sat and had dinner with the guy. I've not had multiple deep, meaningful conversations with the man. But I've trained with him. I've grown with him. We've sat and we've worked and we've evolved together and we've pushed each other. And today was the greatest push that he and I could have ever asked for. No one's taken him the distance. No one's nearly looked like they could ever finish him. I had success on the feet. I had success in his realm. I went out there today and I put on a show and I had some fun. For me, I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to fight and go out there and nearly beat that man. So I'll be back, and there's nothing but respect from that man. Nothing but respect for his team. I spoke to his coach, Henry, his and my former coach, before the fight. He said, this is no hard feelings. One of you is going to win. Go out and have some fun, kid. You're an amazing talent. Afterwards, he said, you're going to be a champion. There is no doubt in my mind that you are going to be a champion. You did an amazing job today. Whoever wins is whoever wins. You're amazing. And I've got a team of Diego, Charles, my família no shoot the box with Damien, Brandon, Lloyd, my wife, my little baby. I am so grateful, and I'm already a champion outside the octagon. I will be back, and that belt will be mine.
Ian, right here in the front, right here. You know, when you first...
I like the jacket, by the way.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. First, I want to say that. When you
I feel like, sorry, his laugh is like people have been giving you shit all night.
Not one person.
Nah, dude, you look fucking good. You got the stash going. Own it.
I appreciate it, man. You know, when you first got into the UFC, you know, you were knocking people out with that check cross, and head kicks, and just kind of piecing them up on the feet. Now you're taking Shavkat Rakhmonov's back. You're getting deep chokes in. A lot of people online are saying, like, even in this loss, they're more impressed by this performance than you than any of your wins. I know a loss is a loss, but, like, do you still feel like you just answered a lot of critics wrong in there?
I don't feel like I lost. Does that make sense? My hand may not have got raised today, but my energy did not lose. I went out there against the scariest man in the division. You guys all have heard about this. Everyone turned him down. I showed up on short notice. I saved this event. I saved 310, and I gave a show to the fans today. When at that point did that man look like he was going to finish me? Twice I had submissions on. Twice he was worried. On the feet, he didn't have that much success. I feel like I was winning the battles on the feet, hence why he kept shooting. For me, it's constant growth and evolution. And as you rise up the ladder, you look at the fight with Neil Magny, domination from start to finish. You look at the fight with Neil Magny or with Jeff Neal. I went out there, I beat a man who hits like a truck. I beat him clean, I beat him efficiently, and I did it well. MVP, no one likes to strike with that man. I went out and I clinically dismantled his striking, caught his kick, took him down, controlled him. Now I went out here against the scariest man. I'm fighting all the people. People don't want to fight. And people are turning me down left, right, and center. I have nothing but a gamer. I have nothing but respect for everyone that I work with and everyone that I fight. I will be the champion one day. Today is a testimony to how hard I work, how talented I am, and that guy, 18-0, 18 finishes before this fight, came in, didn't look like he was that boogeyman today, did he? Did he look the same? I will be back and I will beat that man, I promise you that, and I'm so excited for that day.
I have to ask about the wardrobe malfunction in there. We've never seen a fighter have to change their shorts in the middle of the fight.
So I didn't see it or feel it. What happened?
It looked like there was a rift down the back of your shorts.
Guys, you guys are lucky you didn't get a show. You're lucky I'm wearing fucking pants.
Well, the broadcast had a lot of commentary.
Yeah? Hey, look, you guys might have got a lot of views. We're in Vegas after all. You guys, I got some money out of you guys for that. No, but look, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know what I can do about that. Do you know what I mean? That happened. They came into me. I was like, what happened? I'm very proud. I'm very grateful of all of my team and my entire family. I put on a show today. I showed I can hang with the best in the world, and I'm very proud. I want you guys to know that I will be back. I will win. I will continue to do what I do best. That's put on a show and be the best version of Ian Machado Garry the world's ever seen.
Last thing for me. So when they came to ask you to change your shorts, you didn't know what they were talking about? They just thought you...
I had no idea. I had fucking no idea. They were like, your shorts are ripped. I was like, what you mean they're ripped? They feel fine. So is what it is. Ian. Last one. I got to go because my baby... I need to go home and be with my baby. So give me the last one.
Hey, how's it going? It's great fight. I mean, I think you guys both won. I mean, we can't say you lost. You guys trained together, and did you expect anything different from him in the fight, or it was going how you planned?
I expected Shavkat to bring everything he had. He brought the venom, he brought the pressure, he brought the grappling. I felt like I shut almost everything he did down, and I just feel like I had more success than he did. I stopped all of his success. Everything he tried to do, I stopped. I shut him down. I beat him in the clinch. I stopped his knees. I stopped him on the feet. And then I was the one putting on chokes and submissions. We've never seen a fight where Shavkat looked like that. Today, I'm very happy with my performance. My hand may have not got raised, but I know I'm a champion at heart, and I will get that belt one day. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. All the best, and enjoy the rest of your day.
The attendance was 18,648. Gate was 5 million. We got 4 performance of the night bonuses. Kennedy Hooper, Luque, and Pantoja. They all won 50,000.
Hey, Dana.
What's up, buddy?
First of all, what was your take on Pantoja's call-out? Like, that, it seemed a little strange call-out of Demetrius Johnson after...
Oh, is that who we got? I didn't hear it.
Yeah. He said that I'm the GOAT, and if you want to prove you're still the GOAT, come fight me. Is that something you would entertain even?
I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah. Listen, you know how I was the one beating the drum about Demetrius Johnson a long time ago. And, yeah, I don't know.
What was your take on his Pantoja's performance?
He looked
tonight?
incredible.
Did you feel like, he went out there right off the bat and pressured Asakura, a guy that has a reputation as a knockout fighter, to try to take that aspect away from him?
Well, there's 2 sides to this story. You take a guy like Asakura who came in, in the UFC your first time. We talk about the jitters, all the things that happen. First time fighting in a cage, et cetera, et cetera. And he came in guns a-blazing, flying knee, like right out the gate. And then Pantoja, how he put the pressure back on him. Who in this room didn't want to see 3 more rounds of that? You know what I mean? It would have been amazing. It was a great fight. And Pantoja went out and dominated.
Yeah, and Pantoja's now beaten Brandon Rouvol, Brandon Moreno, and now this guy. So certainly he has starting to build that kind of resume up where now all of a sudden you got to talk about him as one of the greats in the game. You get to 3 title defenses in the UFC. That's pretty significant, is it not?
I agree.
Where do you think he ranks in terms of the the great flyweight champions you've had? Moreno had a great run. Davison was great. Obviously, we know about DJ. Where do you think Alexandre rates right now?
Well, I mean, to say, right here off the top of my head, I don't know. He's awesome. He looked incredible tonight, and, I don't know.
What was your take on, I thought Ian Machado Garry was great in terms of his takedown defense and the way he fought, short notice fight. What was your take on that fight, and were you impressed by Shavkat?
Yeah, it's one of those fights. I'll give you an example, too, like Landwehr versus Choi. On paper, they go in the middle of the octagon, just start slugging it out, and, sometimes they don't play out the way you think. 15-0 versus 18-0. What that means, you have 2 really great fighters with a lot at stake. There's a title on the line, and you saw a lot of great things from both guys during that fight. It wasn't a knockdown, drag 'em out war, but I will tell you this: thank God it was 5 rounds. 5 rounds was the way to do that fight.
A couple other things I just wanted to ask you about. Number one, I was going to ask you this yesterday about. Is this the best year in the company history? You had 5 of the top 10 gates in UFC history were this year. 299, 300, 303, 306, 309. Your highest gate ever at a fight night card in Edmonton, which apparently you may break next week. Do you feel that makes this the greatest year in UFC history?
We say this every year. Every year we say this is the best year. How do we do better next year? I mean, this is literally what we say every year. How are you going to beat this year? We just keep doing it. I don't know. But yes, and guess what? Last year was the best year in UFC history, and the year before that was. Let's keep it rolling.
What criteria do you judge that by? Is it just bottom line finances, or are there other...
It's everything. I mean, you take everything in. The sphere. Who saw that coming? Every year we something happens that we didn't see coming, right? And... yeah, obviously, financially, it goes to another level. Creatively, I think it goes to another level. And, you talk about things like breaking merch records and, et cetera, et cetera. I like to break records. Right now, when we talked about New York, we're 7 of the top 10. By the time we go there, again, this next coming year, we'll be 8 of the top 10. And eventually, in the next couple of years, we'll be 10 of the top 10. So, think about that. When you think about that, Madison Square Garden. We weren't allowed to go into New York. The most famous arena in the world, all the big events that have been there. Within the next couple of years, the UFC will be 10 of the top 10 gates of all time at Madison Square Garden. And we broke most of the gates around the world, their records everywhere we go. So
We haven't had a chance to talk to you since the thing about Conor McGregor came down. Any reaction that you have since the conviction in the civil court and the penalties he faced?
what do you mean? What's my reaction?
Do you have any comment about what his?
If I had a comment, I would have put it out already.
What about his status with the UFC? Is there?
He hasn't been fighting here in I don't know how long.
But there's been, you announced him at 303. There's been talk he's going to fight.
Right.
I mean, does that impact him in any way, or?
Well, if he does fight, it'll be sometime next year.
Okay, all right. And then finally, were you PO'd at Marab for something yesterday? You seemed like you were upset about something that was going on at that press conference. Was there something with the heat between the guys that had you?
That I was pissed off?
Yeah, were you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I thought the press conference was awesome.
Right.
I thought the heat between him and Umar was great. So I was not supposed to be in Los Angeles for this fight coming up, for this pay-per-view fight. I have to fly somewhere and do something that is really important, and I'm moving it. I'm going to Los Angeles. That's how pissed off I was. Yeah.
Dana, when you look at the complexion of tonight's card, coming off of 309 with such a headliner, the depth as far as quality or quantity, I think you had both tonight. Can you just talk about it up and down with the matches? As far as you come off of a card with John Jones, this one it seems like from the preliminary to the co-mains to the main card, it seemed like it was action packed from top to bottom, where you didn't need the big headliner.
Yeah, I agree. It was a great card, but I love the head. Listen, this might be one of those fights that you don't think is a big headliner. Kevin's over there talking about, is this guy, one of the greats of all time? He fought another guy who was a champion in another organization that comes over from Japan. When you think about what that fight meant, had Kai won tonight, you know how big that would have been in Japan, and we'd be talking, even with the performance he had tonight, we're talking about possibly going and doing a fight in Japan now. So I wouldn't say that there wasn't, whether you call it a big headliner, not every card is John Jones, but to say that Pantoja isn't a, he's asking me right now if he's the best ever.
Dana, front, right here. Right here. We had a couple losses for some veterans, Clay Guida, Chris Weidman, Anthony Smith. You've made it known that you thought Chris should have hung it up a couple fights ago. Anthony, couldn't really hold in the tears when he was walking out, and then Clay is, I think, 40-something. What do you do with those three?
They all retire tonight.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you won't offer them any more fights, or you'll just kind of...
They should all retire tonight.
And then what did you make of the Crone-Bryce Mitchell fight? Because in Crone's last fight, you were pretty critical of him. You said it was limited. Even Crone said it was the biggest mistake to kind of come in with one tool. Bryce knocked him cold with an elbow off the top. So just what did you make of Crone's performance and his future with the company?
So wait a minute. What's your question? So you're asking me, you're saying Crone looked really limited the last time he fought, and he looked limited tonight. What's your opinion on?
I didn't think he was limited tonight.
No? What did you think?
I thought he had a better game plan than the fight he had against Charles Jourdain. Because Bryce Mitchell's just had the answers for it.
Okay. So you're like, what do you think about Weidman, this guy, and that guy tonight? I said they should retire. What do you think about Crone? Yeah. No, I don't like the way you're leading me down this road. I know what you're doing. You know the answer to the question, but you just want me to say it or something. You're saying Crone looked limited. What do you think? Do you have any other questions you want to ask me? Anything fucking positive, or you want me to shit on everybody on the card tonight?
I was going to ask, my last one was going to be about Movzar. What you thought of his performance in there?
About who?
Movzar. He won against Aljamain. The fight.
Look great. Congrats to him.
Dana,
Yeah.
how did you score the Ciryl Volkov fight?
I thought Volkov won the fight.
Look, I'm not going to try to shit on her particularly, but Adelaide Bird scored it for him, right? This is a name we've heard. But my point really is these judges who have shown bad decisions time and time again, is there anything we can do with the commission to say, like, hey, can they be re-educated, if not moved?
So here's what happened after that fight. You heard the boos. I went over to Volkov. I apologized to him. I thought he won the fight. And then the head of the commission came over and said, listen, we feel like that second round was really close. And, could have gone either way, and both guys got rocked. We thought that, we thought that, what did they think? That I can't remember which one they thought had the worst of it in the second round, but, they were making the argument on why the fight was judged the way it was. I had a problem with the battle fight, too.
Do you agree with their argument when you heard them out, or do you still maintain that you think Volkov should have probably got the decision?
It doesn't fucking matter what I think. It really doesn't, because at the end of the day, they decide who wins and loses, not us.
There was an incident with Merab and a fan tonight. I mean, that stuff happens, especially with Merab, to be honest. But I was more curious about your opinion on his mindset this week, right? Seems pretty pissed off at a lot of stuff. Going after Umar yesterday, the press conference, he was freaking out a lot. What do you make of his mindset towards his fight with Umar right now?
Yeah, it's actually a great question. I mean, listen, it's already, Merab's that guy. He's that guy. This isn't his first altercation. I don't know if you guys noticed at the press conference yesterday, too. To the right, somebody yelled something. He's in the middle of a conversation. He looked like he's trying to see who said that. Like what? You're going to run over there and you're going to fight this guy, too? It's the way he is. He's built that way. And I don't know if you saw, but he wasn't sitting in the regular fighter section. We had to move him over. I had to move the other two guys over at our table. It's, we try to diffuse this stuff before it happens. And tonight we had a good game plan. I didn't think he'd get into a fight walking out with Aljamain, but.
Do you think there's a chance he's kind of intimidated by this Umar fight, though, right? He seems to really not want this fight or doesn't feel like Umar deserves it. Do you think there's some mind games going on here, or do you think Umar might be in his head?
Listen, I don't think that any of these guys are afraid of anybody. I'm sure there's certain guys they'd rather wait to fight, and they all have their reasons or whatever. But to say that Merab's fighting people in the fucking stands, okay? Merab would get in a fight in the middle of the fighter section. That's why we moved him over to the left. So I wouldn't say that any of these guys are afraid of anybody or any fight. But, fighters are a paranoid bunch. There's always some conspiracy against them, whether it's us or other people. Or we make fights that people want to see. They win or lose the fights on their own. But they are conspiracy theory. They always think that somebody is against them. And maybe that's what they need to do to have that mental thing to go out and do what they do.
Speaking of conspiracy theorists, did you tell Bryce Mitchell fuck seatbelts after his fight?
Yeah. He said, I love you. This is the only organization lets us speak our mind and be who we are and everything else. And I said, fuck seatbelts, buddy.
Last one from me. Kevin sort of went through the list of guys that Pantoja has beaten in this division.
Mm-hmm.
Considering he's beaten a lot of them, do you think Kai Kara-France makes the most sense for him because that's the one guy he hasn't beaten twice already?
I don't know. We'll see.
Dana, right back here.
Yep. Go ahead. Let this guy. Go ahead.
I was going to say, that's not the first time that's happened with Merab. Is there anything you guys do or can do to prevent that? Are there any repercussions? Or
He's my mini Strickland without the mouth. What do you do? Let him buy the pay-per-view, I guess. I mean, I don't know. You can't keep fighting with fucking fans. It's going to cost you a lot. You can do it. It's going to cost you a lot of money, right? And, I don't know. Listen, man, I say it all the time. We're in the fucking fight business. This happens. We got to deal with it. Tonight we tried. I took Islam. We took Islam and we took, Poirier. Not Poirier. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't, but you do. Took them out, put them at the table, moved Merab over to the other side, had Umar and his crew over in the middle, and we still had problems. We still couldn't, We do our best. I didn't even know Nate Diaz was coming yesterday, threw a water bottle at Islam, I don't know why. But listen, if you guys knew fucking this much of what goes on behind the scenes, you would wonder why we do this for a living.
Dana, back here.
Yeah.
Dana, originally Tatiana Suarez was supposed to be on the card against Virna Jandiroba. You guys announced Strickland Duplessis 2, Zhang Weili, Tatiana. Was the reason she was pulled from the card because you guys wanted her for the title fight next February?
I have no idea. Does it matter?
No, I think it's a
Okay.
great fight. I'm ready
Thank you,
for it
sir. We
already.
appreciate it.
Next one. You've talked a lot about being critical Los Angeles getting back to where it was and being one of those markets. Obviously, going to LA, just what made now the time to finally bring the UFC back to Los Angeles specifically instead of Anaheim?
The Intuit Dome.
that's a very new venue. Do you guys have any plans to use any of the new just features that that arena has ahead of the fight?
We'll lose none of them, no.
And then finally, Cosm in Los Angeles nearby experienced it. It's almost as good as the Sphere if you have a great seat. Can you just talk about that partnership in LA, because that's quite the venue if you've never seen fights over there.
Great question. Yes, it's if you have not seen any sporting event, not just the UFC at Cosm, it is a very cool experience. If you're not going to the event live and you're not having a bunch of people over your house, it is a very, very cool way to watch any sporting event. It's fascinating.
Thank you.
Dana?
Yep.
Dana?
Yep. Go ahead, middle guy right here. Yeah.
Dana, thank you so much for announcing the Islam Tsarukyan fight in Los Angeles. I just want to ask, I think it's going to be one of the biggest events for the last couple of years. I wanted to ask, did you ever plan to make that tournament in Saudi Arabia? Because Islam mostly fights there, a couple Dagestani fights in the card. Did you ever think about making that fight over there, or why you specifically chose Los Angeles? Because of Armenia fans, or like...
Well, a lot of things have to line up in timing, and we were going to Los Angeles, and you start looking at what are the best fights to make. You know, it doesn't suck throwing an Armenian on a card, and the list goes on and on. It was the perfect card for LA. Like I just told the other guy, the Intuit Dome is badass. We're excited to go into that venue. I think that, you know, those are the type of venues you're going to start seeing being built with all this technology and cool shit to do.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Yeah.
Dan?
Go ahead.
How close was Hamzat to getting the title shot against DDP in Australia?
How close was it?
Yeah.
I mean, guys, what are you fucking? Is this tonight's stupid question night? How close was he to getting?
I'm asking you because after his win against Robert Whittaker, you were said he might be next, right? So
Right.
I was just.
He's not next.
Gotcha.
How close was he? I don't know. I mean, we sit in a room every Tuesday and we pick fights.
Was he in the conversation too?
He's always in the conversation.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Data in the back.
Yes. Well, let this guy go first. He got jumped over here twice. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Dana. Duho Choi said there are so many UFC fans in Korea, and he wishes someday they're gonna be had a UFC game in the Korea. The last time when the UFC hold a game at the Korea was 2019. Do you have any plan to had another game at the Korea?
He's asking me if we're going back to Korea. So I was supposed to go to Korea this week for looking for a fight for the Korean Zombie show. And then, you know, there was some unrest going on over there. So our global security said we shouldn't go there right now. And we're figuring out another way to do this with the Zombie for his show next weekend. But the answer is yes. If we don't end up there with a fight, I am going to Korea in 2025 to do another show with the Korean Zombie.
And, I mean, do you have any plan for?
Yes, we will eventually get back to Korea. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
In the back. So you had Power Slap this week, and it looked like in the Fountain Blue that audience size had almost doubled from the last time that you were there. You have the card coming up in Saudi. How important is that opportunity to grow Power Slap, and what are you seeing as a difference from how Power Slap has grown from the early days of what UFC had to go through?
I literally just had this conversation with Forbes today, and yes, when you look at Power Slap, you can't go back in the future ever, and you know, it feels like I am with rebuilding the UFC. It's almost identical, except so much faster. And in less than 2 years, that company is ahead of where the UFC was in 10 years.
Why?
So it's been fun. The thing did 2.9 million views last night. Obviously, it was super successful, you know, inside the arena. And yeah, I'm excited to go to Saudi, and we're about to announce a couple of new big deals with Power Slap in the next month or so.
Just one more for me. Vinny Pazienza was announced as a 2024 International Boxing Hall of Fame inductee. We know that you inducted him here in the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. How important was it to finally get him recognized in the International Hall?
I love that guy, and I'm really happy for him. I know it was very important to him. he wanted to be inducted in the Boxing Hall of Fame before he, passes away. So he's ecstatic. I'm really happy for him, and it couldn't happen to a better dude. I love Vinny.
Dana, to your right.
Thank
over
you.
Here.
Yep.
You've always had a good relationship with Saki Gabara, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And, putting this fight together with Kai, a big deal with him. I'm curious, is there any possibility now of maybe bringing over other possible champions from their organization to the UFC you've been talking about?
Yeah, I would. We did it tonight. He had a good performance. I would love to do it. And obviously, having these up and coming. So we were just talking in my room, and he's saying now that in Japan, all of these young guys now want to be the first one to win a world title in the UFC. So that's exciting. There's such a rich history of MMA in Japan, and some of the best days of my life were our rivalry with Pride, and it was a really fun time in my life. So, and in his too. We were talking about it. So the answer is yes to all of that. And I'd love to go do a fight night there too.
Well, if I could make a suggestion, you were recently teasing, interest in the atomweight division. If you're going to start, they have the best in the world right there. The perfect person to start the division with, Seika Izawa.
Thank you, sir.
Gotcha. I got you.
No, I don't disagree with you. Yeah.
So UFC flyweight Charles Johnson, he's starting a slap fighting promotion. I know he spoke to you about it. He hopes it could be like a place to recruit fighters for power slap. What do you think about that being a potential minor leagues for power slap?
I love it. No, they're popping up everywhere. There's a couple down in Brazil. There's some over in Poland. There's one now starting in South Africa. And the list goes on and on. So, yeah, listen, it's no different than the UFC. When we all started, like we were just talking about Pride in Japan, we first bought the UFC, there were several organizations, and then they all started popping up left and right after we got involved. And it's never a bad thing for the sport. It's always a good thing.
Dana right here.
Yep.
You had the World MMA Awards, Power Slap, FPI, and now UFC 310 tonight. What a hectic week. Can you just talk about, the behind the scenes of your week?
No, it was a cool week, man. Fighters only, I commend them for doing that award show. I know that isn't cheap. It's not easy. He lives in England, and, it's a good night for the people who are involved in the sport. So I'm a big supporter of it, and I always will be. It was a fun weekend.
And you just want.
Yep.
I know you mentioned you can't go to South Korea anymore for the Korean Zombies show, but Dorobshok Nabotov, the guy who asked you for a contract at the press conference, he's actually on that card. He's fighting Mateus Camilo.
So what I just said to him is, I'm actually going to do Looking for a Fight, and we're going to do it via satellite from Florida next weekend. So, I had lunch with the Zombie the other day, and he was all bummed out. He's like, this card's badass. I got people that should be in the UFC on this card, and I love the Korean Zombie, so we're going to figure this thing out. It's going to be different than the normal show, but we're still filming this episode of Looking for a Fight.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, because there's some talent on that card, and so I'm assuming
100%.
you guys still wanted to see if you guys can sign those guys.
Yep, we're doing it. Yep.
And one more
Yes,
question
sir.
about UFC events 2025, specifically in Brazil. Can we expect an event there next year?
Can you expect an event in Brazil in 2025? In Brazil in 2025, are we expecting an event there?
Are we expecting? Yes, we'll be doing an event in Brazil. In 25, yes. Yeah, I understand. Got it.
Where?
Yes. Where?
Where in Brazil?
I don't know, sir. We're coming, though. Guy behind him, yeah.
Then Tatsuro Taira of Japan lost in the cross match, and today Kai Asakura lost. Does it change the possibility of UFC Japan 2025?
The fact that Kai lost today, does it change the possibility of still doing a UFC in Japan next year?
Yeah. Here, translate to him that I just said that about 5 seconds ago. Yes. Yes, sir. I would love to do a fight night there. Do you understand that?
Yes,
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Go ahead, kid. What's up?
So tonight, Ciryl Gane had a strange win against Alexandre Volkov. In France, he used to be the closest French fighter to get a belt in the UFC. Right now, in France, we all think that the closest to the belt is Manon Fiorot. Will you give her title shot soon against Valentina Shevchenko?
Ciryl Gane tonight won a weird victory against Volkov. In France, he was the closest to the title. Now the next French person that's closest to the title is Manon Fiorot. Will you give her a chance to fight Valentina Shevchenko next year for the title?
Yeah, no, she is right there, and the answer is yes, she will be fighting for a title. I don't know when, right here, right now, but the answer is yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Hey Dana, right in the middle.
Yep.
Patricio Pitbull said earlier this week that he wants to leave the PFL and he would like to sign with the UFC. Is he someone you'd like to see on the roster?
Who said that?
Patricio Pitbull.
Oh, Pitbull. Listen, the last couple months we've been talking a lot about the PFL. You know, they're canceling a lot of shows. I know that a lot of guys that are supposed to fight aren't fighting. And I mean, you guys know what the fuck's going on. I'm not. You know, when you see that start to happen, you're running out of money. Things aren't looking good, and you're going to have people that want to jump ship. You know, these guys want to fight. You have a very limited time of opportunity when you're a professional athlete, and even less when you're a fighter. So I'm sure you're going to see a lot of that, and we'll see how this plays out over the next several months going into 25.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'll see you in Florida.
Shavkat, congratulations on the victory. Was Ian Machado Garry more difficult than you remember from your sparring days?
Поздравляю с победой. Он был сложнее, чем ты помнишь его из тренировок.
Иә, әрине. Иэн Гарри өте көп жұмыс жасапты, мықты қарсылық көрсетті. Ол да жеңіліп көрмеген жауынгер мен үшін бір жақсы сынақ болды. Жеңіске жеткенге өте қуаныштымын.
Yeah, for sure. He did a lot of work. He improved a lot. It was a great opposition from him, and he's someone who didn't lose for a reason, and it was a great experience for me.
He had the choke on you in that round. How close was it at any point, and were you surprised that he was able to get you into that position?
Он держал тебя в удушающем какое-то время. Насколько это было сильно и как получилось так, что он тебя смог перевести в эту позицию?
Білмеймін, кішкене ыңғайсыздау болып момент болып қалды. Өзім де есімде жоқ, шын айтсам, қандай қалай түсіп қалғанын, бірақ білемін әйтеуір.
To be honest, I don't remember, how this situation happened, but it was an uncomfortable position.
Were you surprised by his takedown defense? You really fought hard many times early in the fight to put him on the ground, and it took a lot of effort from you. Did his takedown defense get better since you last worked with him?
Удивило тебя, как хорошо он защищался от твоих тейкдаунов? Тебе достаточно долго заняло все-таки его перевести. Насколько тебя удивило, как хорошо он защищался?
Иә, әрине керемет защита болды. Ол жақтан енді не десем болады, ол да енді көшеде жүрген адам емес қой, күнде тренировка жасап, күнде өзінің техникаларын оттачивать ететін адам.
It was great takedown defense, all great defense overall. He's not some guy from the street. He's working every day in a gym, getting better. So it was good from him.
Obviously, you respect him a lot for his ability, but does it hurt? Is there any twinge of regret you weren't able to keep the finish streak alive?
Понятное дело, что ты уважаешь его за его навыки, но насколько ты расстроен тем, что не получилось продолжить вот эту серию из того, что ты заканчиваешь всех, у тебя все 5 раундов пробился с ним?
Иә, әрине, білмедім. Қолымнан келген бәрін істедім. Бұл жекпе-жек оңай емес. Жеңіске жеткенім үшін, Қазақстанды қуантқаным үшін қуаныштамын. Бұл да бір өте ауыр жекпе-жек болды. Әрине, мерзімнен алдын кімнің аяқтағысы келмейді жекпе-жекті. Менде де сондай ой болды, бірақ қарсыласым жақсы қарсылық көрсетті, жақсы дайындалып келген екен. Бұйырса келесі жекпе-жегім досрочно жеңем деп ойлаймын.
Yeah, who doesn't want to finish fights? I did everything in my power to do so, but Gane had a great preparation. But I believe next fight I'll continue my finishing streak.
And my last question: you got a chance to go face to face with Belal Muhammad. What did you make of him, and how soon do you feel like you would be ready for that fight?
И последнее, у тебя получилось сделать face-to-face с Белалем Мухаммедом. Как ты думаешь, как близок ты к тому, чтобы биться против него за титул?
Иә, әрине мен келесі претендентпін. Бұйырса келесі жылдың, білмеймін, 3-4, 5 айлары шығып қаламыз деп ойлаймын.
Yeah, I'm the #1 title contender, and hopefully maybe April or May next year we're going to face each other.
Shavkat, front right here. Just one for me. In the middle of the fight, they made Ian change his shorts because there was a rip down the back. I'm curious, did you know what was going on, or did you even notice the rip at all?
Посредине боя они зашли, и ему пришлось поменять шорты, потому что у него разорвались сзади шорты. Интересно, ты видел, ты знал, что так произошло или нет?
Жоқ, мен білмеймін, оған қараған жоқпын, оның шортын шын айтсам.
No, I didn't know. I didn't look at his shorts, to be honest.
Shavkat over here in the back. Shavkat, I'm wondering just when you look back at everything with the weigh-ins, just what did influence you to have that reaction with Ian? It seemed like you guys were very cordial leading up to the fight.
Если просмотреть всю неделю, в принципе, вы достаточно хорошо к друг другу относились, а потом почему-то на церемониальном взвешивании ты его толкнул. Почему так произошло, что тебя подвинуло так его толкнуть?
Жоқ, менде ондай ой болған жоқ. Әрине, өзі келіп, қатты жақындап кетті, соның үшін ары қарай уже мен артқа қайта алмайтын едім. Маған пришлось его оттолкнул.
Yeah, I didn't plan it. He was in my face, and I am not the one who's going to stay back. That's why I have to push him.
And then in the arena and all week, there were many fans with the Kazakh flag, with the same headwear. What's it been like to see that reception? You're obviously not from America, but here in Las Vegas, so many fans, very vocal in their support for you.
И вообще всю неделю, сегодня на арене было очень много казахов, очень много тебя поддерживали, были в народных нарядах, в таком же головном уборе, как и ты. Какие ощущения от того, что так много ребят приехали тебя поддержать?
Әрине, керемет. Қазақтар бір-бірін қолдап осылай жүрген өте керемет көрінеді, солай қолдау керек. Мен үшін бұл да мақтаныш. Осындай жекпе-жектеріммен қазақстандықтарды қуантқым келеді. Әрине, бүгін өте ауыр жекпе-жек болды. Айтқанымдай қарсыласым оңай емес. Жеңіске жеткенім үшін мен қуаныштамын. Қазақстанға осы жекпе-жекті жеңіп, Құдай қаласа жарық жүзбен барайық.
Yeah, it's great. Kazakhs support each other, and I felt the support, and I'm proud to have such a support.
Are you
Garry is not an easy opponent, and it was an easy fight, and I'm glad I brought the win for my fans.
Are you frustrated at all that you weren't able to maintain your 100% finish rate, or are you just happy you got the victory?
Тот же самый вопрос. Тебя как-то разозлило то, что у тебя не получилось его досрочить, или ты просто доволен тем, что получилось оторвать победу?
Әрине, не десем болады. Мен үшін шынын айтсам, маңыздысы жеңіске жету. Жеңіске жеткенім үшін қуаныштамын.
For me, most important to get the win, and I'm happy I won.
Shavkat right here. When Ian was here last time, he said that he felt that you guys are going to fight again, not once, but maybe multiple times in the future. Is this a fight that you could see happening again multiple times down the line?
Иэн Гэри был здесь, у него было интервью, он сказал, что он практически уверен, что вам еще хотя бы один раз, может быть, даже 2 раза придется встречаться. Насколько ты думаешь, это произойдет? Тебе не кажется, что у вас еще будущий будет?
иә әрине екеуміз де жекпе-жектеріміз жеңсек біз кездесіп қаламыз.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna keep winning, and if he's gonna keep winning, we're gonna meet again.
Early on in the fight, you were throwing power punches to end each round, kind of trying to put your stamp on each round to make sure you got the win. Is that what you were doing, or was that just something that kind of naturally happened?
Каждый раунд ты заканчивал очень сильными ударами, особенно в начале боя. Ты как бы ставил такой восклицательный знак после каждого раунда. В этом был план или просто так получалось?
Жо план дегенде әрине қарсыласқа жақсы соққылар жіберу керек болды. Раундтарды жеңіске жетіп сондай жеңіске жетуге тырысу болды ойымызда. Әрине Иэн Гэри көбірек күтіп жұмыс жасады, бірақ атакада жасады. Менде де сондай болды. Екеуміз бір-бірімізден енді білмеймін, анда кішкене байқап жұмыс жасадық. Неге дегенде екеуміз де бір-бірімізді білеміз, кішкене спарринг жасағанбыз.
You know, my plan was, to land those hard punches during all the fight, to secure the rounds. And, Iэн Гэри was being careful, kind of waiting, and also was careful, no one want to make a first mistake. I think the fact that we trained together and know each other, affected the fight too.
Shavkat, поздравляю тебя с победой. Очень высокий темп боя был. У меня 2 вопроса. Первый вопрос. Планировал ли ты, допустим, первые 2-3 раунда его вымотать и потом удосрочить? Как вообще бой, в принципе, по геймплану пошел или нет?
Just a couple of questions from me. The really high-paced fight. First question, did you feel like you wanted to go this fast in order to finish him, get him tired and finish him? And the second question is, do you think that the fight went according to plan?
Конечно, план был каждый раунд выигрывать, но такого не было, вымотывать. Но хотел почувствовать, как он вообще дышит, как он себя чувствует, он хорошо подготовился. Молодец, хороший бой показал, честно говоря.
И еще один вопрос. Есть ли кто-то в дивизионе, с кем бы ты лично хотел бы подраться, просто проверить себя?
Лично подраться не хочу. Меня интересует титульный поединок, и все, посмотрим дальше.
Another question, is there anyone specific and a name in the division that you would like to fight? And the answer is not specifically. I just want to make sure to keep winning and get to the title.
Shavkat, you're one of 3 M1 global champions on this card. Nate Landwehr and Movsar Evloev are also former champs. How strong is the M1 global organization, and how much did you learn in that organization?
Ты один из 3 чемпионов из М1 на этом карде. Насколько сильна эта организация и насколько тому, что ты научился там, помогает тебе в UFC?
Я М1 Global керемет организация болды. Біз үшін ол жерде жекпе-жектер өткізіп, өзіміздің опытымызды асып, осы UFC-ге келдік. Біз үшін бір жақсы бір проверка болды ғой М1.
Yeah, M1 was a great organization. We had a really tough fight over there, and it was a great experience that what was made us ready for the UFC.
And one more from me. You're a hero in Kazakhstan. What type of goals do you have to give back to your country after you're done fighting?
Ты герой в Казахстане. Какие у тебя есть планы, чтобы каким-то образом принести что-то или отдать что-то своей стране после того, как ты выиграешь титул?
Что в обмен, благодаря в Казахстане ты герой, и что бы ты хотел для страны, для народа в ответ сделать, выиграв пояс?
Повторить, что-то я телефон отвлекся.
Ты в Казахстане герой, и есть ли что-то, что ты хочешь сделать для своей страны как чемпион?
И мне приятно, конечно, как бы в Казахстане очень много болельщиков поддерживает, болеет. По крайней мере, у меня сначала титул выиграть, потом подумаю, что могу сделать. Так, пока торопиться не будем.
Yeah, it's very nice to know that there's so many fans, the people that support me, people that are rooting for me. So for now, the first goal is to get the title, and then I'll think about the way that I can give back to my country as a champion.
Alexandre, congratulations on the win, first of all. 3 title defenses. Do you think that that puts you in a different category now once you make 3 title defenses in the UFC?
Like a goat. Yeah, that's what I try to do right now. I feel I'm tied with more victories in that division. And then I figured out maybe that's why I talk about Demetrius Johnson. And I'm sorry if I'm wrong to say about that. All my respect for him. But sorry again, but I did that. I cleaned the division. I beat the number 1, the number 2, multiple times. UFC bring me another guy, another champ for all across the world, and I finish him. That fight makes sense. That's what the fight makes sense for me, and that the flyweight is so different right now. In the times when Demetrius Johnson fights, it's not like that, My last 4 fights, I fight with a Mexican, Australia, American, and Japanese. Everything's changed, You have all the good fighters all across the world, and times like now is so hard. You keep this belt, and right now, in times like that, I don't know. Maybe just me and Makachev have 3 title defense right now. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure if anybody is. Yeah.
But that's tough times right now. It's not like that, like before. But all my respect to Demetrius Johnson. I respect him. I love him because he opened all the doors for us.
Right.
But that fight, what I want. If you call me, say to me, what do you need? What do you want for Christmas? I want that fight.
So, just all due respect to that call, he's an older fighter. He's not.
I'm older too.
And I thought Demetrius was the greatest at one point, right?
Me too.
So I don't ask this question in demeaning him, but he's older now and he's been retired and he hasn't been at the top like he was at one point. So what would you get if you fought him and beat him? Do you think you would gain anything from that?
No, I think nothing changed his legacy. Just to prove myself, who's the best fighter of the world. That's why I'm fight. That's why I'm fight tonight. And that's so special for me because I'm fight for UFC. In UFC make me the main event in Las Vegas for the last pay-per-view all the year to prove all the world I'm the best fighter in the flyweight division. Maybe I'm climb more for the pound for pound. That's what I want. That's very important for me.
You're not ahead of John Jones, though.
Guys, you put in EI for make that. Maybe people go crazy after that, EI, yeah? AI, yeah. And, but, that's what I want, I want to fight with the best fights of the world, Like I say, I fight with Australia, Mexican, Japanese, American, and I prove myself. I prove I'm the best of the best, That's what I want. That's why I'm keeping fighting. And that's why I want to fight with Demetrius Johnson, I give him 6 months if he need, to back, or 8 months, I don't know. But he can skip the line and fight right now for the belt, But I don't know. I don't know if he's ready for me.
One of the things I'm curious about is Asakura, right? He had the reputation, unlike there are not a lot of flyweights that have that one-punch power that can knock you out. He had that power. You felt it, like he hit you a couple times. Did it seem like he had different power than other guys?
I think he feel more, my hands, Maybe I make a flash down in the first round. I don't know. I'm not sure. I need to see the fight first. But I think he feel a lot about my hands, I feel him. He feel my hands. I throw very good kicks in his ribs, And but of course, he come for the different division, Of course, he's a huge guy for the flyweight. And that's so nice because all the guys have opportunity to fight, have one slice about him, right now. You have so many good guys to fight with him, with each other. And he involved my game a lot, I think tonight everybody can see that, how much I'm involved, how much comfortable I feel in the octagon. And he did that for me, He bring me to another level.
It seemed like your striking was really good because you backed him up a lot, especially early on in the fight, right? Was that kind of the game plan to say, hey, we're not going to let you come forward and start fighting downhill, but we're going to put the pressure on you?
Tonight, I show to everyone how good I am. I have good skills in striking, in the grappling, my wrestling. That's what I did, I did 3 title fights in 10 months, you know. That's so big, you know. Of course, Pereira is a monster, you know, Poitin. But of course, he knocked out everybody in the first round, you know. I did like 15 rounds in 10 months. I did 75 minutes with the best guys on the octagon in the more dangerous place all the world, you know, in 10 months. And then my coach, so smart, saying you need a little break, you know. You can keep fighting all the time. And everybody see how good that break make me like much better tonight, you know. I fight in my comfort zone, you know. I can train for one guy. My training camp is so good. I make like a 6-month training camp. But of course, maybe my coach don't want that, but I want to fight soon.
My last question for you, Alexandre, is you've been a great fighter most of your career, but you really elevated your game in your early to mid-30s, right? That's rare. Like usually in the mid-30s, you're going the opposite direction. Do you think that's attributable to your coaching? Is it attributable to your conditioning and the fact that you take care of your body better? Or is it just now that you kind of, you know, mentally decided, hey, I want to be great and have made the commitment to do whatever it takes?
Yes, of course. I think my choices make the choice I make the right way, you know. And I think I'm not growing like just like a fighter, you know. I think I'm growing like a man. First thing I need to growing like I get mature about how to be a good man, how to be a good husband, how to be a good father, you know. And when I figure out that, you see in the fighter, you know, it's not just like you try to be a good fighter and doesn't matter everything else, you know. I think it's much more behind the octagon, you know. My family is here. My wife making me so much a good man. My kids making me so much a good father, you know. And I think all is connection now. If you try to be a good person, if you try to be a better father, better husband, things like that happen in your life.
Alexandre right here. Congrats on the win. Did you happen to see Demetrius' tweet by any chance?
The guy say something about
Yeah, he
money.
said that he got offered $2 million to fight and turned it down so that he could.
Yeah, that's crazy
Scared to
because
fight
it's
more.
not about money, you know. Like I don't fight more for money, you know. I fight to prove myself. I'm the best of the best, you know. I think everybody here to do that. Of course, you need your bills, you need to pay your mortgage and everything. But we're here to figure out who's the best of the best, you know. That's what I did tonight, you know. I'm super glad UFC give me money for defend this belt. I can pay my bills. I can put my kids in a good place. But I don't fight for just money, you know. Dimitri Johnson is not about money, brother. It's about see who's the best of the best, you know. And I just say that because I see he's retired. I don't know about his contract anymore, you know. I don't know if he have something. He can't come to UFC anymore. I don't know. But it's not about money, bro. It's about legacy. It's about see who's the best. That's why I'm leave. You know. That's why I wake up every day to try to be the best.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Alexandre right here. Kai, you know, he was doing his best to sell this fight. You know, he said he was going to bring excitement back. He kept saying he was going to knock you out early. He was going to the new king in town. As the champion, did you appreciate that you had, like, because your previous fights, it was very respectful, and I'm sure you like that too, but now you have a new champion from another organization, from another part of the world that is doing a lot of talking and trying to drum up interest in your fight.
That's so good, man. He looked pretty good, you know. He make amazing fight. He's so good and make me train so much for him, you know. And he involved my game. All my thank you. Need to say thank you for him because he make me involved so much. And I think tonight everybody can figure out that, you know, how much I'm involved like a fighter, you know. I proved that. Make an amazing first round. And the second round, I feel the chance and finish, you know. And I'm learning much more, you know. I have so much more to learn. I prove myself like a fighter, but I'm still learning about how to sell myself, you know. How to be a good guy for that company. I love so much work for UFC. And I not say that just for me, you know. I say that because I work with so much good people here, you know, in UFC. the guy take care about my stuff. So the guy, you guys for the media. I love to work for UFC. You know, this company is everything for me. You know, and I don't fight today just for myself. I fight for defend this company too.
Did any of it bother you, like at the press conference when he said, you know, you need to fight more exciting and I'm the new king? Did any of it bother you, or is it just you enjoyed it?
The guy say that is like people like say is a casual, you know, like you crazy, like and you know, I respect all the fans put it in the front line and say, if you say something about Pantoja like that, you don't understand the MMA, you know. You know, guys, I'm here all the time. I'm living and dying in the octagon, you know. I made so good wars. All my last 3 fights, like I said before, you know, I make 75 minutes in the more dangerous place of the earth, you know, in the UFC octagon, you know, with the best fights of the world, you know. You know, that's crazy. People say that is stupid.
And say they don't, obviously Demetrius Johnson might not be able to come to the UFC. Are you looking for new, fresh matchups? Or, you know, like Kai Car France has been calling for another fight against you. We have Charles Johnson, who's fighting quite a bit. Ciryl Lambeck.
Who?
Charles Johnson. He's ranked.
No, I'm sorry, brother.
Okay. He's been a very active. He was I think he had like four or five fights this year as a flyweight.
You know, I think everybody have a chance, you know. You see, I fight with the number top 10, Ercheg in Rio, Brazil. He did so good work with me there, you know. And then you have to bring Asakura, you know. Everybody have a chance, you know. I'm not a matchmaker, you know. I'm accept all the fights the guys give to me. I never say no to UFC, never. You can call the guys and ask him. I never say no for the fight. I fight with Manel Cape when he come to the Rising, the same thing, you know. I'm the number 5. I'm here to fight with all the best, you know. UFC give me a name, give me a time for my camp, and I fight, doesn't matter.
Alexandre here. Parabéns pela vitória esta noite. Qual é a sua mensagem para os lutadores peso mosca?
Em português? Então, cara, eu estou muito agradecido por defender essa divisão. Fico muito feliz com tudo que eu tenho feito. Não só eu, mas toda a divisão tem feito, cara. Esse ano foi incrível para toda a divisão peso mosca. Começou com o Moreno e o Royval fazendo o main event lá na Cidade do México. Eu tive lá. O Moreno fez uma ótima luta com outro japonês, o Taira. O Moreno foi uma luta muito boa com o Albazi. A gente fez vários main events esse ano. Eu fico muito feliz com a categoria. Eu acho que essa noite eu provei que eu mereço o título de campeão. E eu não falo não só por mim, mas por toda a divisão, que a gente é uma das divisões mais excited do UFC, cara. E fico muito feliz por defender esse cinturão e por ser o campeão hoje.
Obrigado. That's all I got in Portuguese for now, but obviously Kai Car France was just mentioned, and I know that's technically a rematch because of the Ultimate Fighter matchup,
Sure.
but would that be the next best option for you, given just what you've done with the division?
Like I said, Kai Car France is a huge fighter, you know. That's someone I want to fight, of course. But like I'm not the matchmaker, you know. I'm here. Give me a name, give me a time, and I fight with wherever guy all across the world. You know, give me the John Jones, give me a little time. I can fight with him, you know. And that's what I want. I want to be the best flyweight, you know. And UFC give me that opportunity, you know. UFC give me the opportunity to show all the world how good I am.
Parabéns.
Obrigado, irmão.
Alex right here. At the face-offs, things got a little bit heated between you guys. It looked like he might have said something to you that got you a little bit annoyed. What did he say, and did that light a fire under you to come out and dominate more?
No, I say something to him. I say like, you know, so big like that, you know, because he come for the bantamweight, and I just put something in his mind, you know, like, I'm not scared about you, you know, that's something. But maybe he don't understand, like, but that's okay. That's something good for all the fans, you know. Kai Asakura is a huge fighter. I think he have a lot of good matchups to fight right now, you know. But Kai Asakura is the best right now. I look to the front all the time.
So early on in the fight, you were targeting the body with those kicks constantly. Was that something you noticed that he was going to be weak to? Because it seemed like you were just drilling those body kicks in constantly.
Yeah, he hurt my feet with his ribs, you know. That's crazy. But Kai Asakura is such amazing good fighter, you know. He involved my game so much. I'm training so much for that guy, you know. I know, guys, all the time I'm fighting, it's a 50-50%, you know. I know that all the time. When you lock someone in the octagon, doesn't matter how good you are, it's a 50-50%, you know. Sometimes come the punch from nowhere and you knock him out. That's it, finish. And I have very good challenges. You know, I fight with everybody in that division. You know, I fight with every fighter all across the world. That's what I want. You know, I want to prove myself all the time. And Asakura is a so good challenger for me. I train so much for him. And but I feel tonight I see everything. You can put whatever you want in the octagon tonight with me. I finish.
Pantoja, just one right here. Have you ever thought about taking a fight or two at 135 pounds if you're looking for more challenges?
I don't know if it makes sense. You know, I want to keep this division live. You know, I love to all of the fighters. I think so much excited this division right now. You know, and we work, not just me, but all that division works so hard for everybody see that. You know, that's so much excited division. You know, we very good in cardio, striking, grappler. You need to be good in all the skills for go good in that division. You know. When you see everybody talk about how good Taira coming, Tatsuro Taira, and then he fights with Royval, you see a lot of fails he have. He don't have a very good striking, and then you see Albazi Moreno, and then you see Erchegi. Erchegi don't fight with a lot of guys, and then Kai Kara-France knock him out. You know, like that's such excited division. You know, that's not something I'm thinking right now, but. If UFC want that, just give them the money, you know.
Thank you.
Alexandre, over here. So your kids cut weight with you for this fight, right? What was that like? And just tell me kind of about that experience with them.
The easy cut weight all my life, you know. My coach is so glad to have my kids there because I'm not complaining anything, you know, because my kids there, and that's so good thing, you know, because my kids can see how much this work is hard, you know. It's not just go to the octagon and fight, you know. About the cut weight, man, that's hard. Doesn't matter how division you fight, you know, that's hard. You know, that's something hard. You need a lot of discipline to do that, you know. And like one day before the fight is to kill or die, you need to cut your weight, you know. You need like that's a huge process, you know, for me, for all the fighters, you know. And have my kids there, see all the process, see how hard is that, and how much about sacrifice you need to realize something, you know. That's so good for me, you know. That's something I pass for my kids, and that's a very huge opportunity to my kids learn something. Thank you.
Congrats, man. Thank you.
Pantoja, I'm Japanese Gong Magazine's congratulations, champ.
Arigato.
I have two questions. The finishing rear naked choke was one-handed. So how did you use your left hand? That was grabbed.
100?
One hand.
One hand. Yeah. My coach teach me that, and he say, never try to to finish with 100% of your power. You know, just grab there and go. And I hear here like a. I say that's okay. He's there, and I know I have a time because the round just in the beginning. And that's it. I just flowing, you know. I feel super good that night. You know, I work very hard. Everybody know about my chokes, and one more for count. You know.
Okay, one more. Your back clinch was defended by Asakura in the first round, and the second round was your body triangle the key to victory.
Yeah, of course. That's the way to go. You know, I have a very good body locking, and. This body lock is very tight, you know, and then I make it very tight and make you tired because I make your organs comprime yourself, and maybe I'm not finishing that moment, but I know I'm gonna hurt him, you know. That's something I use a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Arigato.
Alexandre, one question for me. Could you rank the flyweight GOATs between you, Davison Figueiredo, Brandon Moreno, Henry Cejudo, and Demetrius Johnson?
That's a hard question, you know, because you have Demetrius Johnson's have multiple defense. You have Henry Cejudo, bro. He's an Olympic champ, the flyweight champ, bantamweight champ. and then you have me, and then you have Figueiredo, and then you have Moreno. I think that makes sense.
Alexandre,
Thank you.
Superlutas Brasil,
Bora.
antes de qualquer coisa, parabéns pela
Obrigado,
vitória,
irmão.
bastante destacada,
Amém.
não só para você, como para toda a sua equipe.
Glória a Deus.
Eu queria saber, porque ao longo da nossa cobertura, antes da sua vitória, já entre os fãs, já se questionava qual o patamar de Pantoja. E depois da sua vitória, então, aí começam as comparações e aí trazem rankings dos fãs, né? Onde está Pantoja na história? E essa é a pergunta que eu tenho para você. Como você se vê na história do UFC? Você se tornou uma lenda, você já era uma lenda, você está prestes a se tornar... Não necessariamente uma lenda, como você
Não,
se vê na história
difícil, cara. Difícil falar sobre isso num país que você tem tantos bons lendas, né? Você tem o Anderson Silva, você tem o José Aldo, você tem o Minotauro, o Shogun. Não, né? Posso ficar aqui o dia inteiro. Renan Barão, cara, Davidson. Eu acho que isso é um trabalho para os fãs, sabe, cara? Eu tô aqui para defender o que é nosso, cara. É muito importante para a gente ter esse representante, né? Como o Poatan também, cara. Eu acho que a história do Poatan é uma história incrível, brother. Sabe? Você vê tudo que ele passou e quando ele chega na luta parece que é fácil, brother. Porque o que passou, irmão, o que a gente passa para chegar aqui nesse país, onde as pessoas estão muito à nossa frente, sabe? Onde eles tiveram tantas coisas na vantagem e aí a gente chega aqui e tenta dividir cabeça com cabeça e a gente tem que mostrar que a gente é melhor, superior. E, cara, é muito importante para mim conseguir essa vitória, sabe, cara? É um presente divino, sabe? Poder estar aqui, poder representar o Brasil. E, cara, a nossa gente, brother, que a gente trabalha muito para isso. A gente, né, chega num país de primeiro mundo, vindo com várias mazelas de onde a gente vem. Pô, eu mal terminei a escola, brother, tá ligado? Eu aprendi inglês vendo filme, sabe? Eu nunca estudei inglês. E tu chegar num país desse, tá ligado? E fazer o que a gente faz, cara, eu acho que a gente merece muito respeito mesmo.
Eu vou aproveitar e fazer mais uma. Então, obrigado por essa mensagem que você acabou de passar. E minha segunda pergunta é, chegou um momento na sua carreira que o adversário é esse, se provar, defender as cores do Brasil, porque adversários em termos de atleta não há mais para o Pantoja?
Não, cara, eu sou muito pé no chão, sabe, cara? Eu acho que o meu próximo adversário vai ser o mais difícil da minha vida. Eu sempre olho para frente dessa forma. Eu acho que é assim que a gente tem que enfrentar, sabe? Eu acho que é uma honra defender a bandeira do Brasil, cara. É um orgulho muito grande, cara. Me dá emoção de falar do Brasil, da onde eu venho, porque é muito difícil, brother. Da onde eu vim, se você voltar lá na Pitangueira, em Arraial do Cabo, da onde eu vim, brother, é um caminho muito longo. E, cara, eu tive muita gente me ajudando, brother. Muita gente. Tem dois caras que estão ali, ó, o Ed e o Joinha, cara, que eles me viram lá atrás, irmão, e me trouxeram, né? Foi através deles que eu entrei a primeira vez nos Estados Unidos. Eu lutei pela RFA, fui campeão da RFA e fui campeão do AXTV. E, cara, muito importante, cara. Eles foram duas pessoas que me ajudaram também nesse momento. E lá na Califórnia, um dos momentos foi a Maria Helena, uma pessoa que eu tive o prazer de conhecer, um momento onde eu queria voltar para o Brasil, onde eu não tinha que ficar. E ela abriu a porta da casa dela para mim. Eu fiquei um mês na casa dela, de uma pessoa que eu tinha conhecido apenas uma semana. Eu dormi ao lado do filho dela, o Pedro, de 7 anos, por um mês, cara. Eles me trataram como se eu fosse da família deles, para me preparar para uma das minhas lutas, entendeu? Então, cara, é a gente por a gente, sabe, cara? Eu acho que a gente tem que muito... Eu quero dar muito em troca, cara. Eu quero tem muita coisa que eu quero dar de volta, sabe? Muita gente me ajudou até onde eu tô e eu quero ajudar muitas pessoas também. Obrigado, irmão.
Alexandre, back here in the middle, over here. You said earlier that you don't really have any interest in moving to 135. You're happy to stay in your division. Do you believe it is more impressive to defend a title over and over consistently than it is to win a title in a second division?
Yeah, of course, cara. I think it's like that's my division, you know. Like I don't try to be a celebrity or nothing like that, you know. I have so much respect for my division, for all the fighters, you know. I think tonight is like that, you know. When I go to the octagon, I see Royval, I see Manel Cape in the arena, and I know 100% this guy cheers for me, you know. This guy's like a celebration of my victory for me, you know. After my fight, I'm go out of the octagon, and Royval is right there to give me a hug, you know, and see like, hey, bro, thank you for doing that, you know. And that's about that, you know, about respect, you know. Doesn't matter for me, a second belt, go to the bantamweight and everything. what I did tonight is for my division, for myself, you know, and that's what I want. And that division is so exciting, you know. You know why? Because in the past, people say this division is need like a gun. People say like that, but you crazy, man. That's why I put food in my table, you know. Imagine if I come here and say, we don't need more the press conference. You don't need more the medias. You know, that's crazy. That's why you get your job. That's why you get your payments, you know. And people talk about that for my division. You crazy. And that's why I think everybody fight with so much patience in that division, you know. And I'm here to defend this belt.
You mentioned that this was your third fight in 12 months. You've been really busy as of late as the champion. Do you want some time off, or do you feel like you're performing really well when you stay busy? Do you want to just keep it going?
Let's figure it out, you know. That fights go just to 2 rounds, you know. My 3 last fights go to the 5 rounds all the time. Get hurt after that, you know. But that's a clean victory. I think all my body is perfect. I look to maybe go to April. I can fight again, you know. But right now, what I want, go to my celebration, my Christmas with my family, you know. Because I have like a very huge camp, you know. I'm preparing myself so good for Asakura. But I think I'm involved in my game, and I want to keep involved.
Thank you, and congrats.
Thank you. That's it. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good night. Good Christmas for everybody.